smudge technique. Okay, when we talk about picture making, we all know what pictures are. And in case you don't know, I'm here to remind us. I want to show us some samples of pictures, and here this is one of examples of pictures that I have here. Yeah, I hope you can see it well. This is a picture of somebody. We have varieties of them. This is another one. These are pictures. It can be a picture of anything, a picture of a building, a picture of a flower, a plant, a picture of an animal, anything that you desire to make. So today I want us to talk about picture making, and under picture making we will talk about drawing. Sorry. We talk about drawing. What is drawing? Pictures can be made in various ways. Pictures can be made in various ways, and one of the ways that pictures can be made is by drawing. Some pictures are being taken. Unaweza tumia camera. You can use a camera to make a picture, to create a picture. You can also use collage and those ones, mosaic, etc. But today I want us to major on drawing. What is drawing? What is drawing? Drawing is an art. It is an art of making pictures on papers by use of tools such as pencils. You can also use a pen. You can also use crayons. So drawing is an art. Drawing is an art it is an art of making pictures. Pictures using tools such as drawing is an art of making pictures using tools such as pencils, you can also use pens, you can also use crayons. Okay, these are made on you can use them, you can use a pencil, you can draw on surfaces such as papers. You can also use walls, you can also use boards, any surface that you desire to make a form through drawing. Drawing is one of the techniques of making pictures. Thank you. Okay, smudge technique, that is the substrand that we are going to talk about today. I was just introducing this topic, that is picture making, the first unit of grade 4 art and craft. Drawing, that is a skill, one of the ways of making pictures, and you have said that drawing is an art of making pictures using using tools such as pencils, pens, and also crayons. So I want us to go directly to smudge technique. To smudge technique. Smudge technique is one of the ways of making pictures through drawing. But how do we use smudge technique to create a picture or to make a picture through drawing? Smudge technique, it is a technique of shading. It is a technique of shading. Smudge technique is a technique of shading, creating pictures by shading. Okay, so shading is first done on a piece of paper or any surface. Then after that you use a soft paper. You use a soft paper like tissue paper or a piece of cloth to smear or to spread the shading that you have done on a surface. How? Okay. Smudge technique, like we have said, it is a technique of shading. Shading is used to create a picture. You can either use a dark shading or a light shading. Light shading and dark shading, that shows a tonal variation. We call it variation, a tonal value or tonal variation. So we have so many ways of showing tonal variation. First, I want us to make a picture using shading technique. I want us to make a picture using shading technique. Like I've said earlier, shading technique is also known as smudge technique. It's also known as smudge technique. So let us make a picture using shading technique. So I will draw a picture here first. I want to draw a picture of pineapple. And when you're drawing, make sure you have your rubber, a pencil, okay. We are drawing our pineapple. This is my pineapple. This is my pineapple that I've just drawn. I want us to draw a pineapple. This is mine. Yes, thank you so much. So how do we use smudge technique after drawing this? Like I said earlier, okay, we are drawing a pineapple. This is my pineapple. Okay, this is my pineapple. So if I want to use smudge technique on this pineapple, like I said earlier, smudge technique is a technique of shading. So shading, how will shading help us here? Shading will help us. It will help us to know which side is darker and which side is lighter. So this side, I will choose one side that there is light, that the light is coming from, and I have chosen this side, my right hand side. So this side will appear lighter and this side will appear darker. Okay, we are shading our pineapple. We are shading our pineapple. I hope you are also shading with me. I am shading my pineapple. I believe that you also have yours, and you are shading with me. Okay. And like I said earlier, my pineapple, I chose this side, the left hand side, to be darker, because that side, that is where there is no light, or there is less light. This other side that has more light will have less shade. So as you shade the darker part, make sure you press your pencil so that it appears darker. So as you move towards the lighter side, you shade it lightly. Hold your pencil loosely so that the other side appears lighter. So this is smudge technique. This side, it shows that this side there is shade on the left side because there is no light, or there is less light, and this side has enough light, and therefore that's why we have shaded this side lightly, or we have not shaded at all. So as you move towards the lighter side, make sure that your pencil or the tool that you are using to shade is loosely held. Okay, let me use my pencil to shade on a piece of paper so that this pineapple, if you check it, okay, draw it in a way that, shade it in a way that somebody will admire it. Yeah, continue shading with me. Continue shading yours with me. And I say that the darker side, or that side that you have chosen that there is no light, make sure that it appears darker. Yeah, and as you move towards the lighter side, hold loosely your pencil or the tool that you are using to shade. Okay. I want to display it to you. I want to display it to us so that we can all see it. This side is darker. This side is darker because there is less light towards this this side. Towards this side there is less light compared to the other side. So that's why we are shading this side darker and bolder. And I've forgotten something. We are also, as we shade, we must shade even the leaves. Every part of the form must be shaded. Every part of the form must be shaded. Every part of the form must be shaded. And as you shade, make sure you consider the lighter side. Don't shade everything, make sure you shade only the darker part. And this is my This is my apple. This is my apple. This is my apple. Okay. That's how we do shading. That's how we use smudge technique to create a picture. And I've made a picture of an apple. Sorry, it is an apple. And I have used smudge technique. That is the technique of shading to create my picture. So I want us to talk about something here. What will help you make a good or a quality value. We've said that we've said that a value is an organized way of shading, whereby where the light is coming from appears lighter or it is not shaded, and where there is no light is shaded boldly or it is made dark. We will draw something here to help us come up with a quality value or value gradation. It is known as value gradation. So what we will draw today is known as value gradation, and value gradation will help us come up with a good or a quality smudge technique. I hope we are done with this part. Those who are writing, thank you so much. So let me wrap this side so that we draw a value gradation strip. A value gradation strip. So it is called, let me use another color so that I don't become boring. Value gradation strip. Value gradation strip. What is a value gradation strip? A value gradation strip, it consists of values, or it consists of shades that appears shades that are lighter, lightest, lighter, dark, and the darkest. So we will draw and these are strips. So we want to see, we must identify, for us to come up with a good value gradation strip, we will identify which side is going to be lighter and which side is going to be darker or the darkest. So I've chosen this side. This side is my left hand side. My left hand side is going to appear lighter, and the other end will appear darkest. So I will start with the darkest strip. I will start with the darkest strip. I hope we are all observing. I hope we are all observing. I hope we are all there observing. Yes. Thank you. I hope we are all observing. Yes. So like I said earlier, my right, the strip on the right hand side is going to appear the darkest. So that means that light is coming from this side. We have light coming from this end, so this side will appear the darkest, because we all know that shadows only appear, or there is darkness only where there is no light. So this side will appear the darkest. Okay, and this part, because we are moving towards the light, so it will be darker. Remember, this side is darkest, this side will be darker. And like I said, we are using smudge technique. Smudge technique is a technique of shading. So this part is going to appear, we are shading. So my second strip from the other end, from my right hand side, will appear darker, and I hope it's practical. You can see it. So if you compare this box and this box, which one appears darker? The first one appears the darkest. So this one is the darkest, this one is darker, then this one is going to be dark. Darker, darkest. Yeah. So we say that we can use a soft, as we shade, we can use a soft paper like this one. This is a tissue paper. We can use a soft paper to come up with to make it soft, to make it appear blended. But for my case right now, I'm using the surface that I'm using. If I use this one, it will rub everything off. So when we are using that one can only be used on a piece of paper, of which I will show you later after using after this one. So this one will appear lighter, a bit lighter compared to the other one. And we are shading. We are not drawing lines, we are shading. Remember, it's smudge technique, and like I said earlier, smudge technique is a technique of shading where we come up with value, tonal value. Tonal value helps us to identify the darker part or the lighter part of an item. I know even your head, if I look at your head right now, I can be able to identify which part is darker and which part is lighter according to where the light is coming from. So every surface or every form, any form or any item has a darker part and a lighter part. It all depends with where the light is coming from. So smudge technique, when we are coming up with a tonal value, a value helps us to identify which part of an item is darker and which part of the item is lighter. So like I have said, and I'm repeating, and maybe I'll repeat again, that when you are shading, first identify where the light is coming from, so that you, as you shade, you consider, you put in mind where the light is coming from, and where the light is coming from appears lighter, and where as you move away from the light, your shading becomes darker. As you can see, the third box from the other end, from my right hand side, appears lighter compared to the first one and the second one. So it's dark, darker, and darkest. So as we move towards the light, the shade disappears. Darkness fears light. So this part will appear like will appear lighter, and as you can see, I hope you are also shading. This is just the first shading that you are doing. We will also do one together on a piece of paper. So good. We will not shade the last one because it is the lightest. That is where the light is coming from. So it is the lightest, then light, then we have lighter, we have dark and darker. Or we can just say now that one this is art and craft, and we are coming up with a value. We call it a value gradation strip, where shading has been arranged from the lightest to the darkest. So that means that this part, if for example, if this is an item, this part is the darkest, that means that this side there is no light, or there is less light compared to this side. This side has too much light, there is enough light, and therefore we don't need to shade it. Or if you shade it, you can shade it slightly, but there is enough light here. But now as we move towards this side, the light is disappearing and the darkness is also appearing. So we can say this is one. Let me use blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 is light or lightest, or 1 is lighter. Let me say 1 is lighter, then 2 is a light, 3 is dark, 4 is darker, and 5 is the darkest. So we can write here light, then this one lighter, then here is dark, number 4 darker, number 5 is darkest. Yes, so this is what we call value gradation. I want to do this on a piece of paper. I want to do it on a piece of paper. Yes, and make sure when you are drawing, I always insist that when you are drawing, you use a frame. You first come up with a frame and have your ruler with you. To make a frame. Pictures look good inside a frame. So as before you draw anything, make a frame first. And don't just draw a frame. Make sure your frame is the lines are straight, and where you go wrong, you have to correct using a rubber. They say no one is perfect, so you must have a rubber. Don't just assume that you are perfect. Make sure you have a rubber. Don't use any other don't use a piece of cloth because it will appear dirty. It will dirtify your don't use a saliva. Don't use saliva. Don't use a piece of cloth. Don't use a piece of paper. Make sure you have a rubber to correct where you've gone wrong as you create a form using. We've said that we are making picture through drawing. How are we going to draw? Through smudge technique. Smudge technique, like we said earlier, is a technique of shading. We have drawn an apple here, and we have identified which side is lighter and which side is darker through shading. So shading is helping us to identify. Shading helps us to identify the darker part of an item and the lighter part of the item, depending with where the light is coming from. And we have also come up with a value gradation. We've also come up with the value gradation. In this value gradation, we've identified the light part, which is number 1, the lighter part, number 2, the dark part, the darker, and the darkest, which is the last strip. And right now I want to do it on a piece of paper, and this is the frame, this is the frame, this is the frame, this is the frame. I said that before you draw or before you make a picture, make sure you have a frame. So because pictures look good inside a frame, so make sure you have a frame. I insist that when you are drawing, before you draw, make sure you have a frame, so that, and a pencil and a rubber, so that you don't, where you go wrong, you rub using a rubber. Okay, so I will draw my value gradation strip. First, I'll draw it this way and divide it into 5 strips. Five strips, and like I said earlier, we use a rubber, no strips. Now this one looks like a rental house where you have 5 rooms. 5 rooms. So the first room is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have 5 boxes here. We have 5 boxes here, and I will name them. I will number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have already numbered them from number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Thank you. So be attentive, please. Okay, so I want us to start from the darker. Always start from the darkest. Just start with the darkest part, and according to our value gradation strip that is on the board, number 5 is the darkest. So we are going to do the same thing that we did earlier on the board. We are going to do it together. As I draw mine, as I shade mine, also shade. The first one that you did was a fair copy. So it was I want us to come up with the final one now. So hold your pen, hold it and press it so that it appears dark, very dark. Start from the edges, make it darker, make it dark, make it dark, make it dark, make it dark. And it's advisable to start just next to the line so that you don't go to the next room don't go to the next box. And if any case you have done any mistake, you have the room to correct using a rubber. Yeah, make it darker, make it darker, make it dark. Make it very, very dark. Make it dark. Remember, number 5 is the darkest. Number 5 is the darkest. So we make it dark. I hope you are able to see. Make it dark. Thank you. The fifth box, the fifth room is dark. It is dark, as you can see. So like I said, we are starting. It is dark, as you can see, it is dark. So like we said earlier, we are moving towards the light. We are moving towards the light. Box number 5 is the darkest, but I can still see some light, so we want to make it darker. We want to make it appear very dark. So we are shading. Remember, it's smudge technique, and I said smudge technique is a technique of drawing or of making pictures through drawing, and in this technique we shade. In this technique we shade. Yeah. So after shading that one, you use a piece of paper which is very soft to spread the what? To spread the shading. Spread the shading and make it smooth. So as we can see, it is dark. It is dark. It is dark. So I want us to move to the next box. I want us to move to the next box. So the next box is going to appear, it is going to appear a bit lighter compared to the fifth one. So we'll hold our pencils again, but we won't press it as hard as we did to the first one. So don't press it harder, but you should just press it, but not as hard as you did to the fifth one, the fifth box, so that it appears lighter compared to the fifth one. Your shading should begin just next to the line to avoid moving or shading the next box. We are now moving towards the light, and our item or our boxes are now becoming lighter. Yes, I hope we are shading together. Yes, we are shading together. Okay, as you can see, the fifth box is darker compared to the fourth box, but it should be the fourth box should be darker should be darker than the way it is right now. So we are going to do more shading. We are going to do more shading because it is far away from the light. So we will make it a bit darker compared. We will make it a bit darker compared to the way it is right now. So we are shading it. We are shading it. We are shading it. Remember, this is the fourth box, and as we said earlier, the fourth box should appear lighter than the fifth box. And right now we are there. We are almost there. We are almost there. And as you shade, avoid trespassing, avoid going to the next box or avoid shading the next box. I say these are just like rental houses, so you don't move to the next house. Don't trespass. So as you can see, it is now dark, but not darker than the fifth one. The fifth one is the darkest. The fifth one is the darkest. This one is darker. So I said that we should use a piece of paper or a piece of cloth that is soft. A piece of paper that is soft. This one is a tissue paper. It is advisable that when you are doing art, use readily available materials that are local. So I want us to observe this one, the fourth box and the fifth box. Which one is lighter? Which one is lighter? The fourth box is lighter compared to the fifth box. So I want us to move to the next box, which is the third box. The third box, on our board here, the third box is dark. The third box is dark. So how are we going to come up with a dark form? We are shading again, but this time round we are not going to hold the pencil, to hold it, to press it hard. We are not going to press it hard. We are not going to hold it that hard, but we are going to hold it loosely. We are going to hold it loosely so that it appears lighter than the fourth one. Put in mind that you should consider where the light is coming from. Put in mind that you should consider where the light is coming from. And as you shade, remember you should not trespass. You should not go to the next box, because each and every box has its value, tonal value. Okay. We are shading together. And because I have moved a bit, I have shaded the other box. I have to rub. Like I said, no one is perfect. That's why we are having a rubber with us. Okay. Thank you. Now I want us to observe this one. I want us to observe this one. The third one is lighter compared to the fourth one, and it is the lightest if you compare with these other ones, the two boxes. Number 3 is lighter, or number 3, according to our strip here, or our value gradation strip on the chalkboard, on the board, number 3 is dark, number 4 is darker, number 5 is the darkest. So we are here, as you can see, and I said that we are going to use a piece of paper or a piece of cloth that is soft to spread our shading, so that the value or the shading is uniform. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, we are almost there. The third box, we are done with the third box, which is now appearing lighter. It is appearing lighter compared to the rest, because we are moving towards the light. We are going to the next one, that is box number 2. Box number 2, we will slightly shade it. We will shade it slightly. As we shade, remember that we are moving towards the lighter side. And there we are. Here we are. Yes, here we are. Number 2, box number 2 is now becoming lighter. We are approaching the light. I think we can see that now we are where the light is. And like I said earlier, don't forget to use a piece of paper, a soft item, a soft piece of cloth or piece of paper to spread your shading. And here we are, number 2. Here we are. I think we have come up with a value gradation strip on a piece of paper. So we are here. Move closer so that we can all observe what is happening here. Yes. So this side is dark, the darkest. Then we have darker, we have dark, we have light and lighter. We are going to label them the way we did with the one on the chalkboard. Darkest, darker, dark, light and lighter. Okay, we are here, and this is our value gradation. We say that value gradation can help you identify, can help you create a form, can help you draw using SMUDGE technique and come up with and draw an object which you'll be able to identify where the light is coming from and where there is darkness. And that marks the end of our lesson today. And that marks the end of our lesson today. But I want us to remember that we were talking about picture making, and picture making through drawing by using SMUDGE technique. SMUDGE technique is a technique of shading. Shading can be done to create tonal value, to create a value. And here is a value gradation that helps us know how to do what? Know how to shade a form, so that we can identify, so that we can come up with a form. We can come up with a form or an item. After drawing, the person who will be observing will be able to know what? Will be able to know where the light is coming from and which part is darker, which part is lighter. And that is what we've learned today. I want you to continue doing more practices at home. And as after doing it, I know your parents also are supporting you in this. After you have practiced at home, make sure you show your parents, or you can also keep them and take them to school. When you open, you will be able to do what? You will be able to show your art and craft teacher. And as a teacher, you know, teachers are happy when you are busy at home doing this kind of work. So make sure you do what? Make sure you do more practices. You know, as you practice, you become what? As you practice, you become perfect. You become more better. So do more practices under SMUDGE technique. And we have other ways of drawing. So do more practices under SMUDGE technique, and you become the best. You will become the best in SMUDGE technique. Okay, as I said earlier, I'm teacher Derek Orlando from Victoria's King Educational Center in Mathare North, Area 4. And thank you for cooperating. Thank you for giving me easy time doing this lesson. And I wish you all the best. And as we are approaching the opening of schools, I wish you all the best, and take care of yourselves. Thank you.